Well, the Journey of Hope is a 64-day cross-country cycling trip that goes from San Francisco, California to Washington, D.C. And along the way, it raises funds and awareness on behalf of people with disabilities. Push America is a non-profit organization that raises funds and awareness on behalf of people with disabilities, and they do that through different projects. They have cycling events like the Journey of Hope and an event called Gear Up Florida. And they also have construction events where teams go to summer camps across the country and work to make them more wheelchair accessible so that kids in wheelchairs have the same experiences of going to summer camps. The Journey of Hope was started in 1987 by a man named Bruce Rogers. He was planning on doing the Centennial Bicycle route that had come along in that year, and he was looking to tag it along with some sort of philanthropical event. And so that's kind of where the Journey of Hope started, from that inaugural tour. And since then it's grown into a larger thing, so it's definitely gotten bigger over the years from what it was originally started with just one man. Well, I was a crew member for the Journey of Hope, and what that means is that each day we're the guys that are setting up all the turns for the cyclists so they know which ways to go, and just taking care of the day-to-day logistics of the trip. On top of setting up turns and doing things like that, each crew member has their own role to keep the trip going. Well, I was on the North Route in 2005, and that route went through states like California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and D.C. Money that is raised from the Journey of Hope is actually given out every day on the trip. It's for different organizations that we meet up with, we're actually able to give them back grants after spending the day with them, so it's a way that the Journey of Hope actually gives back. So that's one of the cool parts about the fundraising and the whole process of it, is actually you get to see the end result and see where your money's actually going. And one of the friendship visits in, I believe it was in Michigan, we stopped at this one rehabilitation clinic, and they had set up like a whole carnival and fair for us. And me and some of the other guys had sat down and started talking with this one young girl who had been in a car accident, and she had just been hanging out with her friends the night before, and she tells the story of how she remembers looking up at the stars and talking with her friends, just kind of joking around how kids do in high school, and saying oh, it's so weird that life can change in one day and things can be like that. And the next morning when she went out for a drive, it was really foggy, and she went to make a left turn and she got T-boned by a gasoline truck. And so she was in a coma, unfortunately, for a year to the day. And then when she woke up, she had to go through the whole process of relearning to swallow, relearning to walk, relearning to talk, and do all the things that she had to do to regain where she was. But the cool thing about it that really stuck out in my mind was that how far she had come. She had actually been planning on going to study and learn how things like swallow sciences, so that she could teach other people who are coming out of comas the same things that she went through. And she said that she'd been doing really well in the classes because she had that first-hand experience, so she wanted to give back from her experience. So that was one person that definitely touched my life when I met her. Well, we ended up in Washington, D.C., and it was really cool as we rode up through and saw all the monuments, and then we had our arrival at the steps of the Capitol. And it was a really cool sight to see everyone's family and everyone waiting for us there right in front of the Capitol. Definitely the experiences that I had on the trip have kind of carried over into my life afterwards, because I had such a strong sense of accomplishment from driving across the country and seeing all these sites. And since I've gotten back, I've actually started volunteering with a group in the Northridge area that plays wheelchair rugby, and just helping out with them and helping them get in their chairs and things like that. And so it's definitely had an influence in my career path and choices in life afterwards.